Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Squared Circle with myself, Mr. David Alorka.
And myself, Jo Aujla.
Listen, it's going to be an absolutely scintillating episode today. But before we even get into that, Joe, talk to me. How you been, bro?
I've been good, bro. I've been good. Took a minute to get here, bro. It's bare cold today, innit?
It's chapping.
But do you know what? I got a little surprise for you. I got a little gift for you, bro. Last week, do you remember when we went for a coffee?
Yeah.
And you was like, bro, what's a chai latte? Oh, bro, I'll show you what a real desi jar is, bro. I've got something for you, bro.
Okay, something cultural, yeah?
Bruv.
Let me see what we've got going.
This, do you know, like, it's like a masala chai, yeah? But it's not like you man think, oh, what, do you put like tikka masala in your cha? Nah, nothing like that. I don't put like vindaloo paste in my tea, bruv. Yeah? This is something proper. You know when you like, when it's Christmas, you go downstairs, yeah? And you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
Bruv, this is exactly what it is. I'll tell you what is in here, yeah? It's got ginger, cardamom, what else? It's got cinnamon. I don't know what it is in English, but it's got something called Javan, something, bruv. Slap that down your tongue.
Okay, let me
No,
see.
pause.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
Let me pause. Yeah. Tell me how it tastes, bruv.
Hey, somehow this bad boy is still warm. Let me. Yeah. It smells like a dream.
I know.
Hold on.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Let me see what's going on over here.
Huh?
Hearn G! Hey, this is banging,
it good?
bro.
Don't just say it, bro.
No. This is banging.
Serious.
This is banging,
So we
bruv.
go stop. It ain't gonna be the same as Starbucks, yeah. But when you go, yeah, to be like, yes, give me a chai latte. Yeah, there's a proper desi jar, bro.
A
Yeah,
desi jar.
jar with a CHAA jar, desi jar, bro.
Jar.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, I know it's a bit cold in here. I thought I'd surprise you, bruv.
Nah, it's lit. It's lit.
So
lit.
I expect some Ghanaian delicacies next time. Do you get it?
Don't worry, man. I'll sort you out with some 1-2-1-2 Kelly Willy, some, you know what I'm seeing, some 1-2 Kenke, some 1-2 Wache, some 1-2
Sounds
real
deliciosos.
jollof rice. But let's get into the rice
Okay.
and the meat of this bad boy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Some people call it the meat and the potatoes, but obviously over our side we call it the rice and the meat. So let's get into this bad boy. We're talking Beterbiev versus Bivol. We're talking undisputed fight. We're talking all the marbles, WBA, WBO, IBF, and WBC titles on the line, my brother.
Bruv, you know, I've never been excited for a fight ever. I thought Fury Usyk was going to be the one I will never be more excited for. Maybe AJ Fury in the future, but this is the one, bro. And I was thinking about it last night. I was thinking about what am I going to say today to describe the magnitude of this fight. How 2 pound for pound world champions are putting everything on the line. All the belts on the line. The reputation's on the line. Their legacy is on the line, right? This is the fight that both fights will always be remembered for in the history books of the sport. And I wanted to talk about their similarities and differences today. And what I've concluded with is that they both have one main similarity.
Go on.
That main similarity is that they both take away their opponent's souls, right? But they do it differently. You got Artur Beterbiev, 20 fights, 20 knockouts, the only world champion in the sport with the perfect record. The way he takes away his opponent's soul is by destroying them. You can have a high, solid, tight guard. He'll break through the guard and he'll get to you. You can be outboxing him, like we've seen with Anthony Yarde, for example, but eventually he gets to you. You can even drop him. He's been dropped in the past, but eventually he'll get to you. He's inevitable. He's Mr. Destruction, right? Whereas you've got Dimitri Bivol. The way he takes his opponent's souls is by playing the long game, right? We see that Soviet style, you know, that in and out with that footwork, you know, that perfect work rate of a tank engine that he has, you know. Although he has one of the best jabs in the sport, he doesn't really need to jab because he punches in bunches, right? And, you know, he punches 2s, 3s, and 4s, always asking a question, always chipping away at that soul, taking away slowly. Are you going to quit? When are you going to quit? Are you going to go now? Which round? Do you know what I mean? And he's relentless. And the way he takes his soul, he demoralizes his opponents, right? So you got Mr. Destruction versus Mr. Demoralization. And the reason why I'm intrigued about this fight is I would like to see which fighters' methodology will work. Which one will be the successful method on the night? Because these two fighters have always been the soul takers, but they've never given away their soul, right? And Eddie said something in an interview, I think last night, and it made me think. The only person that can beat Artur Beterbiev is Dimitri Bivol, and the only person that can beat Dimitri Bivol is Artur Beterbiev. So that's why it's the best fight in boxing. That's why it's a 50-50 fight, and I'm excited to see that, bruv.
All right, listen, it is going to be an absolutely exceptional fight. Like I think we heard during the press conference that I think there's only been two other undisputed, maybe maximum three other undisputed fights in this division. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is one of legend.
I think the last one was Roy Jones Jr.
It was the last one. So it's one of them ones where there is so much history, there's so much on the line, and then you've got two fighters from the similar kind of background, both gone through the same Olympic and amateur program. They've known each other for years. And then, like you said, you've got two differing styles. The destroyer and the person that kills you with death by 1,000 cuts. You see what I'm saying? So this is going to be an absolutely epic clash that I can't wait for. But it's so difficult to pick it. My boy Ade had it up on a poll for about 24 hours and it ended 50-50. Not even 51-49. It was absolutely square. And that shows you just how tight this fight actually is. And it's mad because it's one of them fights that you think you can mentally play out the way in which it goes. And I think the majority of people are on the fence with this one. And, you know, the ones that are picking Bivol, I understand why they're picking Bivol. And I know, just what I'm saying, we're going to talk about who's picking what. But I understand why people are picking Bivol because they're seeing Artur Beterbiev as a type of Canelo. That's why a lot of people are picking Dimitri Bivol because they're like, okay, Canelo right now is a destroyer. You know, he pushes through fights and absolutely beats the heck out of his opponents, punches everything, arms, shoulders, everything until he gets to you, and eventually he gets to you, and that's exactly what Beterbiev does. But Mr. Inevitable in a Canelo was subdued and his powers were taken away from him by Dimitri Bivol. So a lot of people are like, okay, but then on the other side, some people look at him and like, Dimitri Bivol's last few performances weren't spectacular. They weren't glorious. They weren't like anything that would blow you away. So, you know, his performance on the Day of Reckoning wasn't that great against what's his name?
Zinad?
Zinad was the last one.
Lyndon Arthur?
Yeah. Yes. He couldn't put him away. Yes, it was a conclusive victory, but there was no bite, there was no punch, there was no, you see what I'm saying, destructive, no killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? There was no finish him. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you need that killer, you need to finish him, especially when you're fighting against somebody that has the finish him in him. And not only has the finish him in him, the guy has done it the whole way. Like that's the most insane thing about this fight. How do you see the fight playing out on the night?
Do you know what? I've been chatting to one of my boys, Rivette, about this since the fight was announced for the June date for the 5v5 card, wasn't it? So I initially started with Bivol, and then I went to Beterbiev. Then I went back to Bivol, and I'm back with Beterbiev. And then one more return to Bivol. Bro, it's true. It's genuinely like, if you're ever gonna have the most 50-50 fight you'll ever pick, this is the one, right? Do you know what? Even the ones, even if you ask me, oh, who would I like to win? I'm still 50-50 because I don't mind it, bro. I know the viewers are like, bruv, Joe, hurry up and pick, but it's not as hard as that, right?
Not as easy as that.
It's not as easy as that. Yeah. See, I'm getting flabbergasted in my brain, bruv. I'm gonna go Bivol. The reason why I'm gonna go Bivol is because of a silly reason, and that silly reason is Beterbiev's injuries. Right? He had a meniscus injury recently. I know, bruv. I know I'm like plucking, right? But that's the only thing I can think of.
You gotta get something. You need something.
I need something. I'm just plucking out thin air, to be honest. And look. Meniscus is a serious injury, and he had another injury before that. I forgot which area of the body it was, but that was another serious injury. And, you know, he's 39. Eventually, he has to slow down. Eventually, right? You'd like to think eventually he'll slow down. But also, you know, I think Beterbiev's last performance was against Callum Smith. And during that, since there, Bivol's had maybe, I think, 2-3 fights under his belt. So Bivol's been active, and I don't know what we're going to see from Beterbiev. I just... Bivol.
All right, you're going Bivol.
Yeah,
It's mad because I'm going Beterbiev.
Really?
Yeah. I've been, you know, bum scratching on the fence as well. But I've landed on Beterbiev right now. Okay, it might all change. Who knows? Yeah, I see them face to face for the last time. The way, and it might change. I might see them on the ring walks and go, oh, it's going the other way. But right now, I'm going with Beterbiev. I'm going with Destroyer. I'm going with the man who has done it 20 times out of 20. I'm going with the man that has done it against varyingly good opposition. I'm going for a man that has been on the canvas and has come up and knocked out the person that put him on the canvas. I'm going with the man who I think is an absolute psycho in the ring. Mr. Will C. Mr. He Knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Back in the days, the meme was she knows. Nah, Mr. Beterbiev is like, nah, he knows. He knows.
Do you know what?
And bruv, I just think for the destructive nature of his power, I think he's going to do it.
Bruv, the thing is, right, I think we've only seen Bivol wobbled once, and I think that was against Joe Smith Jr., where he wobbled Bivol, and I would just like to see how he can take Beterbiev's power. I don't know if you can. And it's hard, bruv. Do you know what? Like, this is why it's the best fight in the sport, bro, because right now I'm just still on the fence. But do you know what I really love about this fight?
Go on.
It's just been calm and quiet. Not a lot of trash talking since the beginning of the promotion. This week, even we've just seen press conference now, haven't we? And still not a lot of talking. And that just indicates to me the calm before the storm.
Absolutely. That's the epitome of boxing professionals. That is, because this is a purist's dream. It's not great for selling a fight because there's no takeaways, there's no clips, no argy-bargy, no pushing, no nothing that you know, constitute viral moments that will get, you see what I'm saying, my mate Tom down the pub involved. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, he might just be watching some international football, but the blessing is it's international football right now, innit? There's not that much going on. So it's actually the perfect time to actually put on a fight of this magnitude. They have met several times. Obviously, they've known each other for a long time. Yeah. But they met during the press conference. And that was the last time for them to speak to each other and say, yeah. What did you think of that?
To be honest, I didn't have too much thought between them two. I had more of a thought between Beterbiev and Eddie Hearn. To be honest, that kind of stole the little press conference, didn't it? Dev saying he's setting Eddie up. I love it.
Dev, you, yeah.
No, it's his job, innit? It's good. And do you know what? Eddie said something that was funny. Beterbiev went, "You talk too much," and he was like, "Yeah, you should try it." That was hilarious. You know what I mean? But look, I think. Going back to your question, I just think, look, like, it's just the same of what we've seen and what we're gonna expect. It's just the calmness before the storm, and that night that the storm prevails, it's gonna be a blockbuster of a fight, and I love that. I like that, just the quietness. It's very intimidating to actually watch. It's very scary, just both of them knowing that what they're gonna do to one another, like. It's just all war, bro, and I'm just excited for it, man.
Yeah, it's very intense. One thing that I noticed about Beterbiev, right, and I'm surprised that nobody has really picked up on it and or has asked him.
Yeah.
Anytime you see Beterbiev, yeah, he's talking to himself. He's muttering something.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally standing there, and I don't know if he's praying, if he's just, what I'm saying, saying something, but he's just like, he's sitting there and he's just doing this.
I saw that as well. Yeah. What do you think that is?
Bruv, that's what I'm saying. But I'm surprised that like all that, like nobody said nothing. Nobody in the no one in the you know, all of the different TV production, DAZN, TNT, the broadcasters. None of the commentators have picked up on it or thought, I wonder what he's saying to himself, or that Dev hasn't gone to ask him like, what are you saying? Because he is always watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, watch it.
In boxing, you got to be very observant. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be looking, and I'm looking at him, and I'm always seeing him like, whilst the rest of the press conference is going on, and it's not the focus not even on him. He's just sitting there, just.
That's so intimidating as well, you know.
And you're thinking, bruv, what are you doing? You chanting something? Yeah. Are you praying? Are you refocusing? Like, you see what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. It's intimidating. It just shows you like that maybe he's just playing mad. Like it shows you that, you know what I'm saying?
He's just mad in it.
What's really going on up here when it comes down to Saturday night?
Screw loose, bro, isn't it? It's true. Do you know what, bro? I don't know. Look, he reminds me of like the Khabib in boxing though. Just religion and training. That's all it is for him. So, if I had to guess, I presume it's something religious. You know, trying to you know just always like rely to God and just pray for like you know pray for strength or whatever. But I'll tell you what though. It's intimidating, and do you know what? You know, every fight he's ever faced, I don't think a fighter will ever admit they're scared, but I think every fight that Beterbiev's ever faced surely has been intimidated by that.
It's had something to give her. But the funny thing about it is, I agree. But the thing is,
but they'll never admit it.
I don't think Bivol has any.
That's what I was about to say. Is it any different?
I don't see. Yeah,
really?
No. I don't think Bivol has any fear for him.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I don't think Bivol has any fear for him. When I look at Bivol, he looks like somebody who was the junior and was getting boxed around in the amateurs and that by Beterbiev, and he's got a point to prove. Now his shoulders are out and he's come of age and so on and so forth. And I know you mentioned, we're going to move on from Beterbiev in a second, but I know you mentioned about Beterbiev's injuries and that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can't escape the elephant in the room. Like, a lot has surfaced this week from, well, not just this week, but the past couple of weeks from Dimitri's ex-wife. And she's basically gone in a whole expose and has been speaking about all of Bivol's injuries, the amount of surgeries that he's had on his hands, where his weak points are, that her and her kids are with Beterbiev. Like there's been like so much. Obviously, we don't want to delve too much into like, you know what I'm saying, you know, family issues and stuff like that, but more so on the boxing elements. What happens if there's a lot of truth to that side? Because we know when it comes to fighting, when it comes to boxers, there are so many injuries. Boxing is the only sport, right? Well, not the only sport, but it's one of the only sports where like you go into the ring not 100%.
Yeah,
it's impossible to go into the ring 100%.
Yeah.
If you go into the ring 100%, it means you haven't actually worked hard during
There's always going to be niggles.
There's going to be niggles. There's going to be little injuries. There's going to be little things. Your knuckles. Going to be. Do you see what I'm saying? And sometimes you get away. Sometimes a lot of fighters get away with it for a very long period of time. Similar things happen. It happens actually in many different sports. It happens in football. Like so many footballers
get
like, injected. Yeah, exactly. But you would never know that this is what's going on ahead of it. But obviously in boxing, there's a real grave danger with it. What if some of what she's saying, or if all of what she's saying, is true?
If I'm Dimitri Bivol, and it is true, I expect him to think, I'm just gonna have to get on with it. What can he do? He can't go out and be like, it's not true, or he can't be saying it is true. Do you know what I mean? He can't. I think the best thing Bivol can do is just not acknowledge it. It's sad to see what's going on, because I remember Bivol against I think it was either Zinad or Lyndon Arthur, where his kids were with him. I know after the victory in the ring, and you know HE was like giving him a little hug and kiss, and I was thinking, oh, it's really nice to see that, right? And it's sad to see what's happened now. Obviously, I don't want to get into it, and because we don't know what's happened, right? But in terms of answering your question, I think generally, if I'm Bivol, it just can't matter to him. The thing is, Barry Jones said something on his show recently. I was having a watch, and he was saying boxers are one of the most selfish people that they can be, because you have to be selfish. You have to think about yourself when it's in the ring. As yourself, you're going to war. You have to think about yourself, right?
Shout out Barry Jones, by the way. I love Barry Jones. That's my guy.
Great pundit. Him and Andy Clarke, fantastic.
Oh, and Andy. What? You seen Andy's Garms this week? Sensational.
Oh, bro. Andy Clarke is my favourite pundit.
Sensational.
I love Andy Clarke. I think he's fantastic. But yeah, shout out Andy Clarke, Barry Jones, and Robert Taylor. I love that show. But Barry Jones is saying, look, boxers have to be selfish, and he's right. And I think Bivol, he's just prioritized this fight because Bivol's been wanting this fight forever. Like since Beterbiev's unified with the 3 belts. I forgot which one. Which one does Bivol have? He has the WBO, right, or the WBA? I think WBA, and Beterbiev's got the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
And look, both fighters, they just want undisputed and then move on with their life. So this is his only shot. This is his chance to make real history. You know, the Canelo fight, that was history, but that was more of a fun fight. That was more for Canelo to make history rather than Bivol. This is Bivol's chance to do that. So look, to answer your question, I think it doesn't matter. It just can't matter for Bivol. It can't.
What about for Beterbiev?
It's a massive advantage, bro. Of course it is. Even the fact of, he's going to test it. Of course he's going to be. But whose mindset is going to be strong in this? That's the question.
That's the question. And it's not only a massive advantage in terms of knowledge base, because I'm sure it's not going to change it for him knowledge-wise. But then in the mentality side, because there's friction going on in somebody's private life, and that's everybody has issues and situations going on in their private life. To be honest, every single human being, not just in sport or not in boxing.
Every walk of life, someone's gonna have it.
Exactly.
Right?
But obviously, not everybody knows what everybody's going through, and not everybody is going against somebody that wants to punch them in the face, that knows what they're going through from that perspective. So for Beterbiev, there is some degree of advantage in it because he knows there is a mental space in that space. But Bivol just has to focus in and hone in and disregard whatever else is going on that side.
But do you know what though? We say that, but Beterbiev's had 2 major injuries that we all know about. You know, the meniscus one, I think it was one either his shoulder or arm. I don't remember the other one, but that was a serious injury as well.
So do you think, how do you, so quick, because we ain't got too long on this here. How do you see this fight playing out? Because you've gone Bivol, right? How do you see the fight playing out? Do you see Beterbiev's body breaking down? Do you see like...
no. Do you know what? It's funny you say that. Do you know what? I actually, this might sound a bit... After what I've just said about like my little monologue about these 2 are gonna take the souls, it might go to points just because these 2 men are stubborn men. They might refuse to be knocked out as well. I can imagine these 2 fighters are stubborn, hard, solid, pause fighters, right? So they might refuse to be defeated. They might refuse to be knocked down. They might refuse to go down as well. So I can see that. You know, like Canelo Triple G, how I said in the first episode.
Yep.
Both of them had a wars. The first 2 fights were wars, right? But both refused to get knocked out. So it could happen like that as well. But I do think Bivol's going to box to a majority decision, to be honest.
Okay.
But there's no confidence in saying that, to be honest, generally. I just want to let that be known.
It's the fight's only, I think for me, the fight's only ever going 2 different ways. One, Bivol wins by judges' scorecards, or Beterbiev knocks him out. And I'm going Beterbiev knocking him out.
Imagine Bivol knocks him out.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen, there's always a shock. There's always a shock on the card, right? And we're going to talk about the rest of the card in a minute. But there's always a shock on the card that could possibly be a shock. But if that was to happen, that will be an absolutely momentous shock.
It would be.
I would be flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Absolutely flabbergasted.
Just quickly, last thing on this. I just want to make this, Beterbiev's he's not just power, he's more than that. He's his IQ, he sets up traps. I just want to make that
everyone needs to, that's key. Because a lot of people think, people are looking at Beterbiev like he's, I'm not trying to brush him, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, his IQ.
I'm not trying to brush, not Beterbiev, I'm not trying to brush what I'm about to say, but people are looking at Beterbiev like he's the bronze bomber. Do you see what I'm saying? He's just a destructive force, and if his hand hits, then no, it's not that. He is an absolutely very, very skilled boxer that sets beautiful traps.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Absolutely sets beautiful traps. Doesn't waste any time and space in that ring. And a lot of the people he fights against, the times when they feel like they've got an advantage, sometimes that's Beterbiev giving them room to expose themselves.
Do you know what? They both have phenomenal footwork in their own way. Bivol being that Soviet style, in and out, moving around, quick feet. But Beterbiev sets traps up. He sets traps up for later on down the fight.
Yep.
And I think the best fighters can do stuff like that. Like he's more than just a destroyer. There's a reason why he gets those knockouts. It's not just because he hits hard. Like a lot of fighters hit hard. To be fair, I think Beterbiev's got his pound for pound hardest hitter in the sport. But he sets those traps for you later down the line, and he gets to you. Like I said at the beginning, eventually he gets you, and I'm excited to see if he gets to Bivol, man.
Absolutely. Listen, we're gonna move on to the rest of the undercard because you just got not that long left in this. When we actually reconvene after the fight, we'll talk about what the different options are for the winner and the loser, because by then we'll know who won and who lost. Yeah. But let's head straight immediately down to Fabio Wardley, Frazer Clarke for the British title, British heavyweight title in Saudi. It's all going down on the 4 Crown Showdown card. Talk to me. How do you see this one going?
Great fight. Look, the first fight was arguably one of the fights of the year.
Yep.
Look, the first fight, everyone thought Frazer Clarke was going to get blown out basically, right? And everyone was kind of like mocking boxers, saying, "Look, you're just avoiding another fight, you're just ducking all of that stuff, right?" But Frazer showed himself there. Like that was more of a coming of age, even though he's like in his 30s now. But that was like a coming of age fight for Frazer, right? And he did well. I thought he won the fight personally, but I'm not mad at a draw. I'm happy there was a draw. And I just think, look, the first fight, Frazer got dropped and he got a point deduction. If he just manages to stick to the game plan that he had at the beginning and not be sloppy and not like I forgot which round it was, but it was at the end of the bell where he got dropped, something like that. If my memory's right. Yeah. Look, if Frazer does what he did in the first fight, I think he probably will win. But that's nothing to take away from Fabio. Fabio, he's phenomenal in what he does. You know, he's a seek and destroy fighter. Frazer's more than that. He's got more of an IQ because of that. You know, that amateur British pedigree. But you know, just to keep things short, I think Frazer will win. To be honest, what about you?
All right. Yeah, this is a very interesting fight. Another 50-50
Yeah.
And definitely the first fight definitely could be fight of the year because that was an absolutely sensational blockbuster. Well, it's tough because I know both of them very well.
Yeah,
Fabio's my guy.
They're both gentlemen as well.
Both great human beings.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like when you know them and you meet them, they're both great human beings. But I can't. It's funny because it's like I can't disagree with you.
Yeah.
In the essence of, I think it's a similar thing. I think if it goes down to points, and Frazer doesn't go down, then Frazer wins the fight because Frazer is the more skilled and technical boxer, and he, like I said, he's got the better pedigree, and I think, like you said, for that first fight, everyone thought it was going to be a one-way situation for Fabio Wardley. But Frazer showed tremendous heart. Hopefully this time he's got his fitness on smash. But then we know that Fabio Wardley is relentless. He is actually like a gladiator. He is like somebody from back in the days. I can see him with a sword and a spear, or a sword and shield. Because he is somebody that doesn't say die. Like he fights until the daring end. When he gets hit, it makes him go forward and hit even more. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. And he summons some energy from absolutely nowhere. So this fight is it's in a very, very intriguing fight. And I'm like, I don't know which way it's going to go. Like I said, if it's going to be a knockout, it's going to be Fabio. And if it's going to be a points decision, it's going to be
similar to the main
Frazer.
event, if you think about it as well, isn't it? But do you know, I worry for Fabio's nose though. Have you seen it during like? It looks like he's just ready to be busted open. If I'm Frazer Clarke, I'm just jabbing the hell out of that nose, like, honestly. And if he bleeds early, and it gets in his eye, and it, you know, anything can happen. The sweat, the blood just mix with each other in the eye. It might sting. It might be blurry, and Frazer can take advantage of that. So if I'm Frazer Clarke, I'd think about the dark arts like that. Genuinely, you got to do what you got to do in that ring, innit?
Yeah. I hear you.
But you know what? Speaking of swords. Eubank Jr.
Come on.
whipping that sword out.
you see,
know what I mean?
did you see Skye Nicholson next to him? Like, she was moving shook. Like, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on with my man.
Wearing that Saudi attire, whipping that
on.
sword out against Kamil Szeremeta.
Yep.
Szeremeta, a decent opponent, I guess, for what Eubank's looking for. The thing I like about Eubank, he's being honest about this fight. Szeremeta, I think he's lost against Jaime Munguia and Triple G.
Yep.
Two names not to be, not
to be laughed at. Yeah.
not to be shamed at losing. One of the best middleweights of all time.
Come on.
Jaime Munguia, I know he lost against Canelo, but still one of the decent super middleweights out there as well. So no shame in losing against them two. And the things with Eubank, he said, look, I need this type of fight. I've been out for a year. My last opponent was against Liam Smith in that rematch victory. And this is a fight that basically is a pick me up, and it will get me ticking again. And at least he's on it about it because I respect that. And to be honest, I don't want to talk too much about this fight because I just think Eubank's just gonna be a breeze, to be honest, with all due respect to Szeremeta. But
some people are saying this might be the shock on the night. This one,
Really?
some people are saying this one could be. It could
There's
be
always
the
a shock.
banana. Listen, it could
There's
be the
always a
banana
shock.
skinners
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
night. I'll never forget. I was in Ghana when Eubank fought Smith the first fight, and obviously there was so much smack talk ahead of that fight and so on and so forth and that, and bruv. That mad thing. But obviously Chris Eubank would say the elbow in it. You see what I'm saying? It was the bow.
yeah, it wasn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
All right, cool. All right, we'll move on from that because obviously he's
Yeah.
overwhelmingly in Chris's favour on that fight.
Opetaia versus Jack Massey. Do you know what I've liked about the entire press conference?
Come on.
Majority of them, probably bar, ironically, Frazer Clarke and Fabio Wardley, and obviously Szeremeta and Eubank, because they're different languages. All of it's been pretty intense, like little back and forths. Next one, do you know what, this one's got more. I'm actually more excited to see this fight after seeing that press conference. Both saying I'm going to take the belt back to my daughter. And Opetaia versus Jack Massey.
I swear down. When I heard that, I was thinking, Dev is cheeky though. I thought Dev was going to get in there and say, well, someone's daughter ain't getting that belt. Because,
bruv, imagine someone's... bruv.
No, but that's the reality.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
it's
man are
true.
both saying the same thing. Someone's daughter is seeing their
where's the
daddy
belt?
with no belt.
Where's the belt gone? Where is it?
That's a mad thing. It's a mausoleum.
But that's like motivate mind
bruv.
proper, that's proper intense.
But it is. Listen, this fight is going to be sensational.
Yeah.
Opetaia always comes to fight. He always comes to destroy as well. Very, very good boxer. Very, very good technical boxer, but also one that's not afraid to scrap it.
Have it trade,
yes. And Jack Massey is not coming to make up the numbers. I'll tell you that much. Like he's
game.
He's fully game. He's fully game. But I'm expecting Opetaia to take him apart and stop him late.
But do you know what? I don't. Yeah, I actually agree with you. I don't think it is. When I first heard this fight being announced, I was thinking, it's just going to be a bit of a Opetaia little classy showing. But thinking about Jack Massey's last opponent against Isaac Chamberlain, he basically schooled Chamberlain, to be honest, with all due respect. And he did go up to heavyweight and gave Parker a really good fight as well. Look, I think Jack Massey is going to be one of those opponents that are just going to be stubborn, because talking about daughters, talking about your children and that is definitely very, 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 it's deep. It's more than boxing for these two fighters. It's more than just winning now. It
is indeed, man. I can't wait to see that bad boy. Let's move on to the first female world title fight in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I was thinking about this fight. It's the classic, box mover versus the Seek and Destroyer. Skye Nicholson pretty much hasn't really lost a round in her career, always outboxing her opponents. And Raven Chapman is that her style is like a Seek and Destroy type of thing, close down and hunt. But Skye's got really, really, really good footwork. To be fair, she might have one of the best footwork in female boxing. I know people go feel like, Joe, what are you talking about? How can you say that? But if you actually look at it, there's an argument. Yeah, there's an argument there.
And do you know the thing about her? She's extremely confident.
I like how she's calm as well. Always,
but she believes in herself. She believes in herself to the point where, everybody has some degree of belief, right? But she believes in herself as if it was written that she would be this great person within the sport of boxing. That she is going to be undisputed. She asked this week to be called Future Undisputed.
Yeah, she wants Amanda Serrano back.
And everybody obviously they've like basically given it as her nickname, Skye Future Undisputed Nicholson. Do you see what I'm saying? And she, that is what she is going for. And she has never been afraid to hunt down the dragon at the top, and that's why she wants Amanda Serrano. That's why she's been trying to chase her down. I think it's going to be a very exciting fight.
Yeah.
The only thing I have in this fight that's giving me a little bit of a fear for Skye is because obviously this fight is a Matchroom versus Queensbury again, and right now Queensbury have been smoking Matchroom, so it's like,
sorry, Eddie.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be a situation where the run continues. Even HE Turkey Al Sheikh is
mocking it, bro. Mocking it. Poor Eddie, bro. Do you know what the funny thing is? During the press conference, he was naming all of the shows that's been in Saudi.
Yep.
And he then mentioned the 5v5.
Nah,
HG's like, hey, you forgot the 5v5, son. Don't forget that one. And the Frank's like, yeah, my boy, you forgot the 5v5, bro. Yeah, convenient. Very convenient. So you forgot that one.
I'm gonna go with Skye.
Yeah,
I think the smart
agree.
money's on Skye winning this by
Yeah, it's going to be Skye's hardest fight, that's for sure. That's one thing we agreed. But I think Skye, her feet are going to be too good for Raven, even though that's Raven's thing to hunt, seek and destroy. But look, Skye, I think should win, and understandably the favourite in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But who we've got next? We got Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron. That was kind of the start of the talking.
Yeah, it's a bit spicy, innit?
Yeah,
a little bit spicy in the presser.
Liam Cameron calling himself the Sheffield Beterbiev. Interesting. To be fair, he did well against Lyndon Arthur in his last performance. Arguably there was an argument that he won. But Ben's like, bruv, I'm not Lyndon. Like, I got nothing. I'm not on that level. I'm searching the big boys in Beterbiev and Bivol. So there's a bit of spice in that. Liam Cameron has had a bit of a mad story. Getting banned for drugs, but not even PEDs, party drugs. That's a mad thing. Being in jail. A bit of a dark story for Liam. I think he was in the amateurs for Team GB before Ben. I might be wrong about that, but I think it's something like that. So it's been a bit of a dark story for Liam Cameron. I'm happy for him because he's getting a chance.
Yep.
I like those type of stories where people come from the dark or like had a bit of a deep long story, which Liam has had. So I am happy for him. I do think Ben's going to outclass him. I think that showboating is going to be on display.
Man, I can't wait.
And I think it has to be. And it's definitely Ben's hardest fight to this day. That's for sure.
But that's what needs to happen. We want to see him up the levels.
Now.
We want to see him go through the paces. And I think this is the fight that is got. He knows what he needs to do during this fight. He knows that he's going to be performing in front of His Excellency. So he is expected to deliver the performance that His Excellency is paying for, which is showboating, skills, Dragon Ball Z, flashes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Enjoying himself in the ring. So hopefully we see some of that. Hopefully we see some more viral moments. Hopefully we see Ben's Instagram followers go up because some things are getting clipped up. We've got very little time here, so cycle through the last ones that we got.
Right, I think the last one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the I forgot his name. Apologies. The Saudi Arabian Scottish guy. Fighter, I do apologize, I forgot his name, versus I think he's a Colombian fighter. To be honest, I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about them. It looks like Riyadh, they don't just want to put on the biggest fights, they want to see their own grow in the sport as well. And I think good for them, man. Do you know what I mean? Like they being patriotic and make sure they get their own as well in future champions. So I think that's going to be another one in that case.
And plus, that's a little one for Simon Jordan. So when the Saudi anthem plays, I'm saying Simon can't say nothing because I'm sure from now they're going to put a Saudi fighter on all the
Shout out Simon, you old fart, bruv.
Anyway, listen, that's all we got time for today. The fight is going to be absolutely sensational. So I hope you guys are plugged in. Don't worry, we're going to have a roundup of the fight coming your way as soon as that.
Let us know who you got as well. Let us know who you got.
Let us know who you got in the comments and let us know your predictions for all the other fights as well. I've been David Alorka.
And I've been Jo Aujla.
We out of here.
See you later.